Hi guys, it's Sarah from Book Nerds and Fangirls, and today I will be doing my April wrap-up and my May TBR, which I'm so excited about because I have not read a book in months. I don't know why. I've been in this weird reading slump because of work and my boyfriend and getting all this stuff together for events happening this summer that I totally am I was totally bringing on a little bit too much, especially since I do this and I also do fan fiction. So I'm sorry I haven't really read anything in a while, but I've actually managed to read 2 books. One by one of my favorite authors, and second one from a new author whose other books I will be picking up when I go to Florida next week to see my boyfriend, which I am so excited about because one, I don't get to see my boyfriend that often since he lives so far away, and two, he always takes me to Books A Million when I'm there, and which means I could get more books. So I'll be adding more books to my May TBR pile, and this big old TBR pile, which is right here, that I will turn. You can see all the books on my shelf that I still need to read. And I'm gonna add more to the list. It's just, yeah, so far it's been a really harsh few months, and I've only read about 4 books total for 2016, which I really need to get together because I want to do my top 16 of 2016, but I can't do that if I don't read at least 16 books. I'm sure not going to get to my goal of 100 books like I thought I was, so I'm lowering that goal down to about 50 books. 50 books, maybe not that high, maybe I'll, if I still haven't read, okay, let's just get into a more realistic goal. I'll say 20 books. If I could fit 20 books into this whole entire year, I'd be happy. Seeing as how I have, maybe 50 or so new books over here that I still need to read, and my TBR pile is piling up, and I really need to do that one tag coming out. But let's get started. The last book I read, I actually had it on my Ribsat TBR. I was a little bit into it. I didn't get a lot into it. I was more intrigued by reading Fallen Kingdoms and Throne of Glass to get to this one. This was the 3rd book I was reading, and Ribsat ended before I could finish reading all of it. I had 20 pages left in this, and since I didn't really like it, I didn't finish it until now. But the first book that I finished was Soundless by Richelle Mead. I gave this book a 4 out of 10 stars, which pained me because I love Richelle Mead. She is my favorite author. But this book was not her best. It was sold to us as a fantasy, and the fantasy aspect doesn't come in until about 20 pages towards the end, which I didn't like personally. I know Richelle Mead could do fantasy. I've read her Vampire Academy series, her Bloodline series, her Dark Swan series, and her Succubus Blue series. I think it's actually called the Georgia Kinshit. I don't know how to say her last name series, but I've read all those series, and I know this woman could pull off fantastic stories. I just don't think I just think she's more of a series person. She's fantastic at writing book series, but when it comes to standalones, I think this one was too short to have a sufficient ending to it. If this was a bigger book and it had more pages and we dove more into the world of fantasy here, I think I would have liked it a little bit more than I did. It just wasn't my cup of tea, even though I did like the sign language aspect, and I do have not actually a full review, I do have a short review up that I'll post down below. But the second book I got done with, I don't have a review up for yet, but I'll be shooting it today, and it's another book that will take me into my May TBR, and that is Maybe Someday by Colleen Hoover. I had never read a Colleen Hoover book, but I heard she is a fantastic author, and I don't really hear many gripes about her books. I've heard they're really dramatic though, and really sad, and this is the least sad in the series, in her whole book thing, her whole set of books. So I'm gonna pick up another Colleen Hoover book. Now here's where I need your help. I've narrowed it down to 3 books that I want, but I'm gonna take a poll down below, and I will be asking you guys which one I should read next. So the 3 I've narrowed it down to are Ugly Love, Hopeless, and Slammed. So I need everybody's help. Which Colleen Hoover book should I put on my May TBR? That's gonna be the question of the day. But maybe someday I'm giving about an 8 out of 10 stars. I really liked the characters in this one, even though it did struggle with the topic of infidelity in there, and I do say it did a really profound job of getting me to feel sorry for all the parties involved in it. Usually I'm not for infidelity. If you watched my Crazy Ex-Girlfriend review for the finale, there was infidelity, and I really didn't like it, and it sucked so hard, and I made a big rant about it, and yeah. So after that episode, I really didn't want to read this, but I was already to here in this book, so I thought I'd finish it, and it made me cry only about once in this book, but it wasn't between Sydney and Ridge, it was more between Ridge and Maggie, because I did feel sorry for Maggie, and I'll get more into it in my in-depth review for it, because I will be shooting it today, and I'm so excited. Yeah. So, which book should I read next from Colleen Hoover? I'll post that question down below, as well as my videos. Well, actually, as well as my Soundless review. My Maybe Someday review is not up yet. But now getting on to it. Besides a Colleen Hoover book that will be decided for me, I have a couple more books. I decided to give myself a little bit of a bigger TBR pile for this month just so I could have options. But there are at least 3 books that I want to read. 4 books I want to read for sure. The Colleen Hoover book that you guys will help me pick out, and 3 other books that I will be taking on vacation with me, because I do have a long plane ride plus a 3-hour layover in a huge airport that will probably give me some pretty down reading time, seeing as how I have 4 flights and a 3-hour wait. I'm gonna need some pretty good reading material, so without further ado, let's get started. The first book I have is a pretty intriguing book. I was looking at watching booktube videos like I do in my spare time, and I stumbled across this book that sounded really fascinating to me. I don't know how I stumbled across this one, but my first book that I really want to get to is The Girl in 6E by A.R Torre. I'm so sorry if I butchered the last name, but this book from the synopsis just reeled me in. This book is marketed about as a erotic thriller, so I'm trying to get into more adult books, so I thought I'd pick this up because I've never really read erotic thriller. I've read 50 Shades of Grey, but we're not gonna even discuss that one. But I decided I kind of want to read more erotic fiction, even though a lot of people do have a little bit of a problem with erotic fiction. I don't really have a problem with it. So The Girl in 6E, what I've heard it's about is about a cam girl. For most of you who don't know, a cam girl is a girl who's basically, I want to just say she does softcore porn online that she gets money for it's not like a how should I put this lightly? She doesn't have sex with anyone, but she'll do a bunch of different things for money. Whatever the guy's fantasy is he'll tell her and she'll act it out or something. I'm very shaky on what a cam girl actually is, but I would think of her as more of an escort that doesn't really have sex with you. It's just more your fantasies being played out like you're watching porn or something. But this cam girl has a deep, dark secret. She is actually obsessed with murder. And I just thought that sounded so intriguing because she's been locked away in her apartment for 3 years because she has this weird obsession with murder, and she wants to murder, and so she locked herself away in an apartment, and apparently there's this big thriller part and big mystery to it involving one of her clients. So I'm intrigued to read about this, and I hope I get finished with it. So the second book I have on my TBR is one that I'm so excited to read because it's being turned into a movie with Emily Blunt, and I do love Emily Blunt, and that is The Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins. I've heard a lot of good things about The Girl on the Train. This is a mystery, I believe it is. I'm really shaky about what it's supposed to be about from the trailers because I haven't really read the synopsis on the book. This is just going by the trailers. Correct me if I'm wrong. But this book is about a woman. One day, she's riding the train to work like she always does, and she witnesses a crime taking place. Like one of those wrong place, wrong time type of deals, and it turns into this one big giant whole mess from what I could tell from what the trailers have shown me. But I'm looking forward to reading The Girl on the Train because I really want to read it before the movie comes out because I hate watching books based off movies that I haven't read yet. Sure, it takes a little bit out of the movie aspect, but I prefer reading the book. Because sometimes the book is better, sometimes it's worse, but I'm looking forward to reading The Girl on the Train because if the trailer was as awesome, if the book is as awesome as the trailer, I'm in. So the third book I decided to pick up was You by Caroline Kepnes. This is a story about a stalker. And from what the synopsis tells us, it's pretty intriguing, I must say. I really wanted to pick up this book because I really wanted to read from the psychological viewpoint of a stalker. I wanted to read more contemporary that has realistic situations in it, so I picked up You. I heard it's pretty good and pretty damn disturbing, and I do love disturbing books. Actually, a lot of books that are my favorites are books with a little more disturbing factor. I don't know why, don't ask me why, but I find that they make more intriguing stories, so I'm reading You, and I'm excited for it. So the next book on my TBR is one that I'm going to try to get to, but the books that are down here are the try to get tos. If I don't get to it, I apologize. But the next book I'm going to be trying to read is Rebel Spring by Morgan Rhodes. I read Falling Kingdoms for my the Ribsat readathon, and absolutely adored it. So I picked up the second book, Rebel Springs. I haven't really got to it yet. I'm on page 26 of this one, and I really, really want to read this series because I hear it's really good. And I really want to catch up to it. Maybe if I don't get into this now, I will wait until the series is done because it has, from what I've heard, 2 more books left to go. And when they're finished, I can marathon this series and just enjoy it without having to worry about it. But I'm super psyched to read this one. I'm dying to know what happens in it, especially from the first 26 pages I've read. It seems really intriguing and getting juicier by the second, so I can't wait for that. The next book I'm reading is Burning Glass by Kathryn Pudie. I'm not 100% sure what this one is about. From what I know very little about it. I believe it's about an assassin. I really wanted to read an assassin book that wasn't thrown a glass, because if you watch my review for Thrown a Glass, you know I wasn't the hugest fan. I believe I gave it 4 out of 10 stars. I wish I would have gave it a 3 out of 10 stars, because that book wasn't really good to me. I found the protagonist really annoying and whiny for some weird reason, and I don't like my assassins annoying and whining, so I picked up Burning Glass, and I'm hoping that this book will be better, and hopefully I'll have a kick-ass assassin soon. So the next book I got is another book-to-movie adaptation that's coming out, and that is The Queen of the Tearling by Erika Johansen. I don't really know exactly what this is about. I know that there is a young queen involved, and Emma Watson is playing her in the movie, and I love some Emma Watson, but I'm not 100% sure what it's actually about. I think I'm gonna go into this blind and see if I like it or not. I'm hoping I like it. Fingers crossed. So the next book I got is a really short book. I can't believe I haven't finished it yet. I've heard nothing but good things about this book, and that is A Monster Calls by Ness, inspired by an idea from Sabahan Doyd, I believe her name was. This book got 2 prizes at 2 awards for it, and for a short book, that's pretty astonishing to me, so I'm super excited to get to it. Hopefully I will be getting to it. It's a really short read. It doesn't look like it might take more than a couple hours if I really set my mind to it. But Monster Calls will be in there. The next book I have here, I got intrigued by it, but I put it away for some other reason. I don't really know. No, I was in a reading slump, and maybe someday it was taking me out of it more than this book was, and that is Truthwitch by Susan Dennard. I hear really good things about this book. I've heard mixed things about the author of this book, but I try to separate the work from the author's personal life because I enjoy books, and if I did that with a lot of authors, I probably wouldn't read a lot of books that I do, but I do like the synopsis for this book. We have a Truthwitch and a Threadwitch. It just sounds like a fascinating concept. I don't really want to read out the synopsis for it because I spaced on the synopsis, but I'm looking forward to getting into Truthwitch. And I have 2 more books here. The other book I will be trying to get to is Prisoner of Night and Fog by Blankman. This is a story about Hitler's niece. Niece is a fictional story because I don't think Hitler had a niece. She doesn't know what's going on. She doesn't know that her uncle is behind all these horrendous things until she meets a Jewish author that fills her in on what's going on. What's going on with her uncle, and it's just about her dealing with it, trying to deal with that, and it just sounds like a really intriguing historical fiction read, and I've been trying to get into more genres lately besides fantasy, so I picked this one up, and I hope it really intrigues me. And last but not least, it's another book that I was going to read for Ribsat, didn't get to it. I've gone halfway through so far, and that is More Happy Than Not by Silvera. I've heard nothing but good things about this book, and it really pisses me off that I haven't got through with it yet because I was really enjoying it, and I don't know why the reading slump happened when it did, but I was reading it while I was in the reading slump, and it just didn't mesh well, so I put it down. Then I got maybe someday, and I just wanted to finish Soundless, so this one got pushed back, and I'm sorry for that. More Happy Than Not. Maybe someday I will get back to you, hopefully sometime this month, pun intended. But there you guys have it. That was the books that I read in April, and will hopefully get hopefully get passed in May. Comment down below and let me know which Colleen Hoover book I should read next, and if you've read any of these books, I would love an opinion for which ones I should read. Because I do have a lot of them. But comment down below and let me know, and I will see you guys for my next video. Bye!